We're live. Dante, we're live. So you got to figure out how to. All right, go to the comments. How we go comments again?
Click on the video right there. Just click on the video. It's probably an easier way to do it too, but
it's endless shrimp at Red Lobster with another new flavor you never saw coming. Grill.
Yeah, we're live. So
It's endless shrimp at Red Lobster with another new flavor you never saw coming. Grill.
yeah. So as I told you guys, we're just sitting here. I'm trying to turn. Let me get organized. Let me get organized. You guys hear that feed? 1 second. Do I mute this one? Do I mute the? You guys hear that feed? 1 second. Okay, I can mute the one that has the comments on it, right?
yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm sure I can. So we're live, Dante. What do you want to talk about, Dante? We've been sitting here for 4 hours. 3 hours. What do you want to talk about?
Man, we might as well. The first thing we might as well talk about is this fight this weekend, man. I mean, this is a pretty good card. We get to see if this is the resurrection of Manny Pacquiao, or if this is the beginning of a legacy for Jesse Vargas. So, you know, it's really hard to gauge this fight right here, man, because I really don't know if Jesse Vargas is ready for this kind of step up, but we're going to know, I think, in the first couple rounds. That's what we really have to break this down.
No, you're right.
How we have to break it down, or gauge it, I should say. We have to gauge it based. We have to gauge this based on the first couple rounds. So I would say that's pretty much, you know, how it's going down. But once again, I'm looking forward to watching Jesse Magdaleno against Nonito Donaire. I feel that's a huge step up for Jesse Magdaleno. And I tell you right now, man, if he avoids that left hand and he goes in there and he boxes the way I know he can, it'll be really interesting to see how Nonito Donaire deals with his foot movement and his speed. Because I'll tell you one thing, if Nonito Donaire could get outboxed by fighters like Baez, Matabula, even though Matabula is tall and lanky, I have a feeling that he's going to have some problems with Magdaleno, you know, and so this will be interesting. And then you have Jesse Magdaleno's brother, Diego Magdaleno, who just recently lost, and now I truly feel like, you know, the pressure is all on Jesse Vargas right now.
Yeah.
To keep, you know, because that was Diego's biggest step up, and he lost. Actually, no, Diego had lost before that. So, but he got stopped in that fight.
Troy Brown asks, what round do you give Manny?
What round? You mean what round do I feel Manny would knock him out?
Yeah, what round?
That's a hard one. I mean, that would be a wild-ass guess to pick a round. But let's just say if Manny were to stop Jesse Vargas, I think it would be somewhere from 8. I think it would be around the championship, like the last quarter of the fight, from 8 to 12.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, I think Jesse Vargas is young enough and is an above-average fighter and has the stamina. It's no way on hell he didn't train for this fight.
No.
100%. I have no doubt about Dewey Cooper's regimen. I have no doubt about Jesse Vargas' commitment to this fight. And we haven't seen a Ricky Hatton knockout from Manny Pacquiao in a long time. Now, is Manny Pacquiao accurate and powerful? Absolutely. But I haven't seen I haven't seen him ice a motherfucker in a long man. He
Yeah.
iced when he was the quote unquote Mexican killer and the Ricky Hatton murderer.
Mhm.
He was. I mean, he was a bad man.
You know, the crazy thing, I was just talking about this in the last video I did, Fred. I said it's interesting because if you look at Jesse Vargas' last 2 fights, we seen almost like a newfound power, right? Because he knocked out Saddam Ali. Nobody expected that. He hurt Tim Bradley badly. And, you know, and then when it comes to Manny Pacquiao, he knocked down Bradley for the first time in 3 fights. You know, so I wonder if that's an indication that somebody may get seriously hurt in this fight. You know, I mean, the fact that, to me, Jesse Vargas is the type of fighter who truly will go out, you know, on a shield. So I think he'll put himself in position to either knock out Pacquiao or get knocked out if he has to get knocked out.
Yeah, I definitely think he'll take the risk.
Yeah,
he's one of the fighters that will take the risk.
He's not gonna go. He's not gonna go just straight defensive. It's hard for. I mean, we do have to, you know, see how he deals with getting hit with that left hand. You know, because if he gets hit with that left hand and he's still like, okay, come on, let's go. Now takes my right hand. You know, if he's like that, then we have a real fight.
Yeah.
Because, but like I said, once again, I don't believe he's gonna fold once he gets caught with a hard left hand, which a lot of people they do against Pacquiao, a lot of fighters.
Sure. Someone else asked, "What up, Fern?" He asked the triangle theory. Like he says, Cotto beat Mosley, Margarito beat Cotto, but Mosley beat Margarito. Can you see something like this happening? You know, Vargas, Bradley, Pacquiao.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, a lot of people, they're using the triangle theory, and it's not always effective. Yeah, because, of course, Manny Pacquiao, he beat Tim Bradley 2 out of 3 times. And then you have, you know, Vargas, who lost to Tim Bradley. But you also have to remember Shane Mosley, who lost to Miguel Cotto. Margarito knocks out Cotto. Shane Mosley knocks out Margarito. You know, so this could be a similar situation. I mean, Manny Pacquiao, as far as I'm concerned, he's not comfortable with guys that are good boxers. And Jesse Vargas is not so much of a boxer on his feet, but he's a very intelligent boxer. And he has the height and he has the reach. He has the same type of height that Chris Algieri has, but I think he has better power. I think he has better power, and he has a much deeper amateur pedigree than Chris Algieri.
Yeah, Twin Fam says Manny gonna hurt this kid, but also gonna say the triangle must be working tonight because the Lakers are beating the shit out of Golden State. I know they're not running the triangle, but I know the Phil Jackson triangle. But someone asked a question or comment, and Stephen A. Smith will have the same stance on Black Lives Matter that he has on TV.
Oh, wow. They beating us to the – did somebody just ask that?
Wait a minute.
Somebody talking about Stephen A. Smith and Black Lives Matter? Wow, that's funny, huh?
So, too quick and too experienced. Twin Fam says that about Manny Pacquiao. What do y'all think Manny would do next if he wins? Will he fight the top dogs next like Terrence Crawford?
Bob Aaron's going to put a gun to his head and tell him, you either fighting Terrence Crawford next or I'm pulling the trigger. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, and we got some tea leaves today that we can't talk about. We got some tea leaves today that, you know, from a special person about who Manny going to fight next.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Yeah. And
I like what Freddie said. I like what Freddie said when he said, I mean, I don't know if I believe it, but he said, hey, if Bob forces us to fight Terrence, we have to fight him. I don't know if that's necessarily true, though, because to me, you know, that's what we need to ask Freddie. We need to ask Freddie, what has Manny Pacquiao said about Terrence Crawford behind closed doors? What has he personally said about Terrence Crawford? That's what we need to ask.
Yeah, you're right. I think he goes for the big fight. He goes for the big fight. I told you guys, Mayweather, Canelo. I forgot about Amir Khan because you know Bob Arum is fiending to have a fight in the Arabs, in the United Kingdom, in the UAB. You know, he's fiending for that because he tried to get Manny Pacquiao over there to some extent. So, but someone else asked, what do you think Manny would do next? Okay, Crawford. I would say Crawford, but it's all contingent on what Floyd Mayweather does. You know, I believe if Danny Garcia beats Keith Thurman, Floyd Mayweather fights Danny Garcia. That's just what I believe.
Yeah, you're right. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it.
Someone else asked, someone wants to say what's up to you guys. For Life, One Deep One says, what's up, Dante?
What's going on, For? Yeah, that's my man. What's going on, For Life?
Okay, dope. Lightning 22-1 asks, who wins in your eyes between Jesse and Algieri?
Jesse and Algieri. I go with Jesse on that one right there. He's a little bit too polished. But
Yeah.
even though Chris Algieri, he still looked great. You know what I'm saying? After he lost to Pacquiao, until he ran into that boy, the truth. Until he ran into the truth.
But you,
once he ran into him, you know, that kind of changes everything. Because once you get hit by that truth truck, you know what I'm saying, you may never be the same again.
Yeah, that's once you get the dog shit beat out of you, not the same fighter. I don't care who you are, what you've done. And Earl Spence took a lot out of Chris Algieri. So I would go with the younger fighter. Jesse Vargas.
Yeah, that would be a tough fight. It'll be interesting to see how Chris Algieri comes back from that that bad, terrible loss.
Yeah, For Life says what's up back to you, Dante.
For sure.
Fight Guys. Fern says, nigga, you just got to get out here. You sitting in LA. You need to get in that 15 traffic and get your ass out here. You'll be here tomorrow, I know. But he says maybe pack a fight, a PBC fighter. Yeah, his name is Floyd Mayweather.
yeah.
No, but he may fight
or little brother
or his little Adrian. You know, and Freddie Roach eyes kind of glamored. I thought he would have loved to get an Adrian Broner, get a big payday for a little. Even if he loses that fight, nothing really happens to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In terms of physical level, nothing really happens because like Floyd Mayweather, like an Adrian Broner, you don't. There's no wear and tear. I mean, obviously you age and you go through training camp and you go through the sparring sessions, but nothing really happens. But my guess would say they would love a Broner fight.
Oh yeah.
Twin families, they would definitely take that fight. Yeah.
And you know what? After what Roach said, and I don't want to talk too much about what he said.
Yeah.
Because I'm about to upload the video. But I was surprised how much he said. Well, you already knew it. That's I guess out to the public. I'm kind of surprised that Broner turned down $4 million.
Makes no sense.
I could see him asking for more money, but if you can't get it, then say, okay, you know, I tried to, you know, get as much as I can. But why would you not take $4 million to fight Manny Pacquiao? To me, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense.
Where are you getting $4 million from? Like, there's no fighter in the world that Adrian Broner can draw $4 million from.
Nobody.
Not unless he's gonna get beat up by not even Triple G makes $4 million. Canelo,
exactly.
But I mean, you fight a Canelo, you're getting whitewashed. So
excellent point.
So there's
no reason. And they offer you 4 and you ask for 10, and that's what you settle for. You don't say nothing like you don't say nothing like, okay, I want 4. I tell you what, give me 6, give me 7.
He should have did a contingency based off of like how the sales do. You know what I mean? Because AB will sell the fight. AB will sell the shit out of that fight.
And I understand where Broner is coming from when it comes to, you know, the aspect of the fact that he will sell the fight. He's going to be the one selling the fight. Pacquiao's not going to sell the fight. So with that being said, I can understand him wanting more money. But to walk away when, like you just said right now, there's no way you're going to get $4 million fighting anyone. You fight Thurman, Danny Garcia, you're going to get $1 million. We already know that.
$4 million is an NBA contract. A football, an NFL contract. You get that in 3 months. I mean,
and what's even crazier.
Oh, Stephen A. is finally here.
Get Stephen A. Smith real quick before he get out of here, y'all. So we'll catch up with y'all in a minute.
Yeah, we live.
On to the next one, y'all. Dante's Boxing Nation. My man Fred from Barbershop Conversations.
Hey, bro, how you feel?
All right, my
man. I'm
Mantra left.
Yeah, she said she
so I should do it with my camera. Huh? Do it with my
All right,
camera.
text her. Let her know because we gonna eat dinner. Right, so we gonna find the restaurant. I'm tired of that. I ain't tired of no that.
First things first, I want to ask you, man. You both get no back work.
Also, it's the same interview.
Yeah, right. Well, actually, it's going to be both of our interviews. So Now, first thing I want to ask you, man, you've been in this meeting room, fighting meeting room forever, man. So how did that go down, man? You first started doing this?
We got an interview on fighters. So you got obviously 4 main events essentially. Title fights leading into the main event. So you're talking about 8 different fighters. So we had to interview all of them, and their trainers and stuff like that. And then they basically to make the fans, so you got to go through everything that we can because people paying their hard numbers. I take it very seriously. I'm just exhausted because I've been with this for at the first take this morning, and I have to do my radio show on Sirius XM. That goes to radio, and I have to come over here and do all that. So it's been a crazy day, but this is my first day ever doing anything like this. I've done a lot of things in my career. I have color commentary on a boxing match in my career. So I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait for it. It just don't look that way right now. It's a great
Sorry, man. Let me just ask you real quick about the main event, man. How did you see the fight playing out, Jesse Vargas?
It's hard to say. Calling the fight would be fair to both fighters, not sitting on the side of it, just watching from afar, ringside, calling the fight. It's obviously as fair as you possibly can. Right now, he's been on the big stage. Requires his speed, his experience, his power, all of it in his favor. The flip side is that his body's got 4 or 5 inch height advantage, he's a 4-inch reach advantage. They say his trainer doing it, and say that he's been elevating his level of power. You know what he did to Saddam Ali, which is what earned him the spot to be in this position to begin with. And we saw man Pacquiao get put to sleep about Manuel Marquez. So when you look at it from that perspective, you got to recognize that cats like Bernard Hopkins, who I've known for over 20 years, and a few others look in the face and say, it takes dudes a decade to get over that kind of power. No matter if he's come back, no matter if his win senses come back, the reality is that that's always in the back of your head. That you got put to sleep, you get knocked out, you got put to sleep. So you remember that, and you recognize that, and you give Jesse Vargas a puncher's chance, because is there really that big of a discrepancy when it comes to power between Manuel Marquez and Jesse Vargas? I don't know the answer to that question, but I suspect it's not. So because of that, I would do Pacquiao at the edge. If I had to bet my money, I would pick the late round, stop it somewhere around the 10th round. But it's primarily because Vargas is going to come. He's not going to back up, and Pacquiao's going to wait for that. But at the same time, I'm not underestimating Vargas. I'm just saying rather than my money back because of that experience. But it's boxing, and anything can happen. And Vargas is counting on anything to happen. He's 7-1 underdog. He's saying, let's go.
Do you find such irony that you're calling Manny Pacquiao when you was obviously the #1 fan of Floyd Mayweather, you had exclusive with Floyd Mayweather,
Perceived.
Yeah.
The interesting part about it is that people don't realize how cool Manny Pacquiao is. You see him on first tape. He's always laughing. He's always smiling. He literally likes making fun of me. Like, he was talking about Floyd scared to death, and I took off my glasses. I'm like, what the hell did you just say? And then he took off his glasses. He's scared, and he's just cracking up laughing. And he's always found me elaborate with people in his heart. He knows I don't want him to get hurt. I'm not against him or anything like that. It's just that with Floyd, I'm like, yeah, Floyd don't beat him, and I didn't want to be wrong. It's just that simple. I believe Floyd would beat him. I believe Floyd would beat him. I believe Floyd is a superior boxer, and that's what the hell I told him. I tell anybody to their face, because I know I'm not wishing. I'm not wishing negativity. I'm not going to back up from what I feel. And if I feel you go lose, I feel you go lose. And that's what I told him. And so I was right. He knows I was right. But man, I've always had a great relationship. I spoke to him tonight. I was in his room tonight. He spoke for about a half hour, 45 minutes with the rest of the top ranking broadcast. asked him to fight. And he was instantly started laughing because I'm sitting there, he sees me, he starts laughing. He's like, oh no, here he comes. And sure enough, I came with the question, sure. Is this the only fight you don't have? Or is there something else you're looking for? He said, I know where you're going. I know this is how he is. So we vibe like that and what have you. But, you know, cats who are real know where I'm coming from. I'm trying to look at everybody like that. Like I see it. And I'm trying to get what they want, what they expect. You know, not looking forward to Manny Pacquiao because he's like Vargas. You looking forward to Manny Pacquiao because you expect living Vargas in your own goal. That's going to lead to something even greater. So that's what you're doing. So I'm sitting in front of him. Then I'm going to ask those questions. That's my job.
Do you think Sid Davis truly believed in his heart that Manny Pacquiao was better than Floyd Mayweather?
Well, listen, he's at another level now. He's a better. He's my friend. He's my friend for life. Skip and I had an incredibly successful run together. We were #1. We did that together. And don't forget that. Don't forget, you know, it's the, you know, when the top with the casket, you roll there. You know, I rode to the top with him. And to be truthful, I rode to the top because of him. Because he asked me to come on. He said he needed me. He know good and damn well. Anybody I try to get him some stuff. I want to get him. It was up to me. I want to get him to 12 o'clock every day. I never did rush out traffic or anything like that. I did it because he asked me to. And so my career has been able to propel to extraordinary heights. He watched me because he believed in me, trusted me, and needed me, and invested me to get to where we needed to go. So a lot of times they turn to get whatever. They don't realize he needed that. He's saying, you know, whatever people say about shit, it's on that team. He ain't playing it right. He don't think it feel, but he playing and tell you. And he believed that Tim Tebow was better than Floyd Mayweather and Aaron Rodgers. He ain't playing. Now y'all might sit up here and they might try to check him with it. But everybody's listening is that he always has problems. I'll bring back at you. This is how you felt. Now I know that was insane. And you know that. But I also knew he believed it. And he never failed anything. He knows I'm not going to do that. I speak from the real. I am who I am. I'm not apologizing. He's the same way. That's why we work what we work for years. So now I got a guy like Max, who's ultra talented, incredibly smart, and intellectual. Obviously, his knowledge and expertise on politics is not to be denied or disputed. And I think that he has an opportunity to fill those shoes. But no matter what shoes he fills, it doesn't take away from what he and I had together in 3.5 years. We don't forget stuff like that. I got a lot to thank him for. I'm always been grateful because in some small way he's responsible for what I've been able to achieve. Because he was there to say I beat you. And I will always be incredibly grateful for that. And he will always be my brother.
Did he ever give you heads up when he was thinking when he thought about leaving? Oh, he did. What did you say to you?
You know, he was just thinking about it. You got to remember, I'm also first take. He's not close to us. So it was always understood that it was possible. You know, he didn't want to. His reality, how he was to say. You know, at the end of the day, the man's 64 years old. He's been a journalist for 40 years. He earned the right to be here. And you have a friendship. Now, somebody an opportunity. That man is sunshine. Earn that opportunity. I got love for him. I'm happy for him. He's on the other side. And I understand that. Just because I'm competing doesn't mean that I don't love him. It doesn't mean that I'm going to have to forgive. We need to each other. Always been to each other.
Great to be there as an ass, right? Why not? We got 3 lives. I'm here. I said,
Sorry.
He needs to stand up. So he needs to stand up and worry about starting it as opposed to building. And then he said, all lives matter. He said, Black Lives Matter are just followers. And, we black people basically need to follow directions. That's what he said. And of course, there was a lot of backlash and all kinds of stuff. TI, a lot of people, they responded to that. What's your thoughts?
I don't agree with it. I think that as black people, as we continue to be black men, it's incumbent upon us to be conscientious observers, to recognize trials and tribulations that we go through, if nothing else. Everybody is not going to conduct themselves the way themselves. Just because you don't agree with it as something that you would not be able to say doesn't mean that you can then have the courage to respect that brother, you appreciate it, and more importantly, you honor his conscience because you know that we're the only ones that's doing it together. Other side ain't gonna give him that kind of love. Ain't nothing but vitriol, venom, and hostility that's coming his way. But having said all of that, I think we need to be careful as a community how harshly we come down. You say things that we don't disagree with. Floyd Mayweather is not a politician. He's a professional boxer. Ask that question. He may not have that kind of intelligence. Lil Wayne made a news the other day. That wasn't pleasant to watch. Wasn't pleasant to watch. He came across really bad, which is why he ultimately apologized. But you went to a musician who's had his issues, self-admittedly, with drugs and alcohol. You pull a camera in his face and ask him to be a conscientious observer who's articulating and helping people thoughts about stuff that goes far deeper. He may have been ready to go at that particular moment in time. And we as black people, we want to go to have office that is stopping, pausing, and saying, why was the camera in your face with such an issue in the first place? Leave them alone. How come you didn't ask President Obama? How come you didn't ask senators and congressmen and women on Capitol Hill, the Maxine Waters, the Cory Bookers of the world? How come you didn't roll up on Stephen A. like you brothers did and ask the question? What about my man Michael Smith? What about my girl Jamel Hill? What about my man Romani Jones at ESPN? What about Jamie Dukes, Primetime Deion Sanders? Brothers who are known for communicating and articulating their thoughts. What about my man Romani Hill, my brother? What about my man Dr. Michael Larry Dyson? What about the great Joe Madison, who hosts a show on Sirius XM from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on the Urban View channel? What about my girl Karen Hunter, who's a Pulitzer Prize winner that got a show on in the afternoon going up against a guy that I know well, and Sean Hannity? What about those? There are so many intelligent, accomplished, conscientious black people that folks can go to all the time, but you don't know what to do. They got a history, drugs and alcohol, and not necessarily being that conscientious, or a boxer who's worth more than $500 million, possibly $1 billion, whose vantage point and viewpoint is unquestionably different than where most of us is coming from. Then we can condemn them. Come on, man, cut those brothers some slack. I don't like what they said. I don't approve of it. I don't agree with it. But I'm not going to engage in condemnation because they're expressing themselves in a different opinion than I'm on. Because they're living in a different world. And it's not requiring. It's not requiring them to be as conscientious as it's requiring us to be. Let's be smart and make sure that we don't judge people for being different than ourselves and thinking different than ourselves. When at this point in time in their lives, for whatever reason, they may be exposed to something completely different than what we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. That's craft in the basket. That's the world using us as an excuse to go at it. And then some people look at me and go, you're not a fool. Who the hell is this dude? This dude being no brothers all the time, blah, 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 blah. Let me answer that right now. God damn right, I too. I will continue to do that. For this reason, that's how I want them to succeed. I want brothers not taking suspended for sports. And belonging millions of dollars. When you can't get on your shoulders, when you get yourself suspended, when you get yourself banned from the league because of domestic violence and stuff like that. I want brothers to succeed. I don't want brothers to fail. So when I'm calling you out, it ain't to condemn you and act like you ain't worth a damn. And who gives a damn about you? It's to say, get it together so you can be all you can be. Because that's what I want for you. There's room for all of us to succeed. There's no reason for us to sit up there and be messing up our opportunities that we work lifetimes for to propel ourselves to this level. You got a guy like Josh Gordon for the Cleveland Browns. Yeah, I respect the fact that you got a problem. I understand and I appreciate that. But you had a problem 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. How many violations do you need? And then not only that, you get suspended. But the commissioner modifies his own rule and allows you to come back with the team while you're suspended so you can practice with them and train with them. So when your suspension is lifted, you're ready to go. So he lets you come like 4 or 5 months in advance. And 1 week before you're eligible to return, you insert yourself, check yourself into a new team. You gotta do better. We gotta do better. And you might help us if you're gonna stand out of line, come to the defense, that level of ignorance, or that level of responsibility. Yeah, you might have a problem, you might be an addict, whatever, but you were supposed to be getting help. And what about your teammates? Archie 3 days play college ball with you. What about Terrell Bryan, the way he walked? So I'm not saying all that to get on Josh Gordon. I'm just using it as an example to say, we have an opportunity, we have an opportunity. When you mess up, if I'm calling you out, it ain't to condemn you. It's to say, brother, get it together, right? For good. Your life is eviscerated because they don't give you so many chances. That is entirely different than me just acting like it's crabs in a basket and tearing brothers down. We need to go out. We need to go out.
My last question. Shannon Sharpe, a lot of people they compare me to Shannon Sharpe. I also want to ask you, what do you think about his approach on these serious situations? It's plaguing us right now. All lives, black lives, all of that. And just comparing to
Shannon Sharpe is a Hall of Fame type, one of the greatest football players. An intelligent brother, a good brother, who is my friend. He is not me. He is not him. Just like I wasn't a tight end playing football in the National Football League, he hasn't been a journalist, newspaper, television. I got his son, his faith. I wish he knew him the best.
That's what he has an hour and a half. Basketball, because they are difficult plays indoors, so people all come to us. You think of NBA, look to college athletes, and more importantly, our overall mission statement to the next level.
Not college athlete, you ain't large enough to make that kind of difference. Yeah. But if it were wrong, if it were Kevin Durant or somebody, it would be different. Also understand something. College athlete took it in, and he brought attention to racial injustices that have been taking place in our nation. He forced you to take a side, which made it more courageous. But at the same time, from a pragmatic perspective, what exactly did it accomplish? He stood him down. Whereas in the case of LeBron James, along with Dwayne Wade and CP3 and Melo, not just by introducing the SBs, but by the commercials that they make, along the lines of being in the midst of a multi-billion-dollar negotiation with the National Basketball Association as we speak. Understand that they're trying to promote change in the right way. Because what they did was provokingly involved in the NBA. So not only is working in concert with NBA players, they're making commercials. If they go a step further now, they will. They decide to grow, or even if it's just 1% of their collective market. into the communities. Now we're talking about school programs. We're talking about recreation facilities. We're talking about things being put up where youngsters, our younger generation, have something to do after school, insurance, while their parents are out there hustling. So while we're sitting here saying, these brothers ain't copycat, they shouldn't have done this, they shouldn't have done that. We gotta look at the forest for the trees and understand if we're doing things that are going to be beneficial. If you're just talking and you want to march and you want to protest and you want to argue, you want to think, that's fine, and it has its own level of effectiveness. But nothing compared to if you start putting monies, your mouths up, and creating change by building facilities, recreation facilities, and after-school programs, and things of that nature, where you're giving youngsters opportunities and alternatives, you're exposing them to things. What if an NBA plays here and you see the coach and the players have we gonna build this park. We gonna build this recreation facility. By the way, it's incumbent upon you as a coach, as a player personnel, as a staff, as a player. You have to visit that place once a month. Imagine if every NBA city, all 30 teams did that. Imagine if the NFL junior and made the same decision for all 32 of their teams. Think about what that would have made baseball jump on the bandwagon. Because they do have the RBI program, they rely on it's the center program. What if they did that? All of a sudden, you have a collection of leagues that join forces. You're talking about tens of millions of dollars poured into the local economy. All of a sudden, you ain't bending them. You ain't dealing them. What you deal is facilitating. That's the way that we should think. We should have a greater vision and a bigger vision. Because you're talking about all this people. Why is that so important? Because the players can't make politicians act. They can give a voice to something, then they can make politicians act. But when you're the owner and you're responsible for your franchise that's generating fundamentally millions of dollars to the local economy, if you got a problem with a local politician, they gotta stand up and attention to this. Because you can take your business elsewhere and it can drastically detrimentally affect the local economy. That forces them to listen. So it's not just about the players speaking up, it's about the players speaking up in fashion that provokes the owners to get involved and use their considerable influence to affect politicians who make decisions that directly and drastically influence our lives. That is how you handle problems that's independent of the rights. Keep in mind, that's why they did it. They didn't do it just to give a voice to something. They did it to force politicians to act, to turn transgressions and iniquities into laws that would benefit the neighborhoods and the neighborhoods that were exactly against us as communities. They didn't want to just march and speak and bend. They wanted folks to act, and they forced the government to do so. The sports leagues, not just the players, the leagues themselves, led by the owners and the commissioners, are in more position than anyone in history to make the kind of change we've been dominating for decades.
Shannon Sharpe said, if you really want to make change, you need white athletes to take a stand. You agree with that? We said that to skip him a lot of time.
It would be nice, but I'm not sure you need it. I'd like to have it, but you don't need it. One of the things that we have to respect is this. White folks can be black. Yeah, they can sit up here and not, perform acts of hatred, prejudice, racism, violence, whatever, against different segments of our populace. And it would help to be sensitive. Remember that during the civil rights movement, we would have never propelled ourselves to the heights that we propelled ourselves with if it were not for the assistance of white folks, some conscientious white folks who don't play. But in order to provoke and spark them to do that, we have to be careful about racism and prejudice. Because when we mention the word racism, we're looking at white people, talking about all of them. Not that we're talking got to make sure that we highlight intelligence. Look, I'm talking about something in the way you act. Not all.
Or just the ones that's committing the crime.
I'm just saying, that's what I'm saying. I'm talking about that. We got to make sure we do better, because if you walk into somebody's face and tell them the main shit, how incentivized do you think that's going to make them do it? It's just common sense sometimes. It's just the way it is. Now people look at me and they'll say, well, the hell is he system like that? Well, I very young president was talking about Black Lives Matter. Acknowledge that he supported it, but also encourage them. And don't just protest everywhere. You got to a point where you saw them protesting the Republican candidates and the Democratic candidates. Well, here was the problem. He wanted to be president. So don't you need to take a side? Because you're going to need somebody. If you alienate both, where's that going to get you? It's just a question. It's the kind of thing that we have to be mindful of. Because a lot of times I support forces, but I'm sitting here like this, that ain't doing it. That ain't going to get it done. When you get old, you ain't in to futility. You ain't into doing something that pays no dividends. It's got to show that there's something at the end of the tunnel. You can't just be barking and barking. You can't just be venting to be venting. It's about getting it done. And are you doing it? That's what we intend to ourselves. And, you know, we're a resolute people, strong, special. You know, God made us one of a kind. At the same time, sometimes that friction, that stress gets to us to a point where all other voices, all other people, there's noise coming from us. We get problems all the time, not solutions. And it's just the approach. In corporate America, I learned this a long time ago. Never go to a wall to adjust your mind. If you don't have solutions, you don't want somebody. Because they ain't gonna like you. Because no boss just wants to hear the problems.
Accountability is a solution, right?
No, it's not a solution. Accountability is highlighting the problem and giving you a conduit as to where the solution lies. It ain't a solution. The solution is the actual act of solving the problem. You have to bring a solution to it. You have to be fixing it. Because if you don't know it's going and how right you are, like people ain't wrong. Everything we say, how we've been victimized as a nation for decades, if not centuries, is right. We are not wrong. Problem is that how are you going to tell somebody who's white, hypothetically, that was born in 1970, that they're responsible for slavery? How are you going to do that? I'm not, listen, how are you going to do that? How do you expect that white person to listen?
That's not what people are saying. That's how they perceive it.
I'm not saying that's what they're saying, but your message is all about whether or not it's received. It's not about what you want to say. It's about what you want to be heard. And if you know you're speaking to somebody that ain't going to hear you, then it should come upon you to speak in a fashion where they will hear you. You can't just sit up there and say, this is the way it is, and this is the way it is, and it's wrong, it's wrong, it's wrong. Bam, that's it. It doesn't work that way. In the field of communication, we are taught, pay attention to your words. Make sure you know how they hear something. That's how you reach them. Not by you just spewing. It's by talking in a way that makes sure your audience hears you. That is your responsibility as a communicator. And if you don't feel that way, shut the hell up. Because that means you're just talking for yourself. You ain't talking to be heard. You're talking to them. No, you're supposed to be talking to be heard. So you got to think about your audience. You got to think about how they're going to receive what you're saying and say, okay, how can I best get this message across to them where they're going to hear it, inhale it, grasp it, and do the kind of thing they need to do. That's what it's all about. When I talk to young brothers and sisters, that's what I try to tell them. Because I'm 48, I got mine. I'm 49, I'm sorry, I got mine. I'm doing all right, but I'm not satisfied because there's a lot of things that we need to do as a community. So you do what you can, you pray a lot, you donate money, you donate your time and energy, and what happens is you move on from there. But in the end, It's about being conscientious enough to tell people what they need to do, and tell people what they need to do, not just what they want. Anybody can appease you and get you through the moment. Almost like it says, you can take a horse of water, but you can't make it drink. It's about making sure you facilitate somebody drinking, not just taking them to the moment. You got to be about that. And I don't think enough of us are thinking like that. We are God-fearing, decent people. Black people are the most special people on this earth as far as I'm not against anything. But I love my people. Well, part of that love is being real enough to tell us what we do sometimes. And by the way, I'm not perfect. I do things wrong. I'm not right all the time. I'm always righteous. I never, ever, ever walk into a situation because I love us too much. And see us hurting each other sometimes. Just because we know it, we always do it. And that's what I'm trying to say. A lot of us, there's a lot of people in my community, far more intelligent, far more accomplished, far more knowledgeable than me, and have so many answers. We don't listen to them. I gave you a bunch of names earlier. How come we don't listen to them? Hell is something. I'm doing sports, man. I'm trying to handle my business, and I'm trying to get a perspective that transcends the world of sports when I can. When I say Joe Madison, Dr. Michael Tyson, Mark Montiel, Karen Hunter, and Mark Thompson, my man Roland Martin. I mean, the list goes on and on. There are so many loving brothers and sisters who are doing so much. They're in the trenches fighting for us. We ain't listening. I gotta run. I'll walk. Go ahead. One question. Two-part question. The NBA is 80% black. Do you think that, you mentioned Ross, do you think that they should have a black union? And two, do you think, what are you talking about a black union? Black guys control for the NBA. NBA is 80% That's black. But they don't control their own destiny. Wait a minute. No. They could. That's what I'm. Chris Paul is a black man. But he's Michelle Roberts, what? But it's not a black union. Meaning our needs are not being met. That's insane, bro. That's insane. Chris Paul is a black man. Highly intelligent. Highly accomplished. So Michelle Roberts is a black woman. Highly accomplished. The players' union. What sense would it make? If you're an NBA player, why would you want to have a separate union filled with black NBA players and shove out the other NBA players? Why would you want to do that? You're all under the umbrella of the NBA. In addition to no, because why? That's all the money's in one line. They all share it. They're all part of it. You know, it's not like white folks are making this money and black folks are making. No, I'm not talking about that. It's not NBA product. Not the salary cap. I'm not talking about the salary cap either. I'm saying the NBA as a union. It's the NBA union. And see, we got to listen. When we talk about integration, we talk about historically black colleges. That's the point I want to get to. How y'all feeling? Well, I ain't got time, but I gave you a lot of time. That's the point I want to get. That's what I'm saying. I was going to straight it down to HBCUs are incredibly valuable. I'm a part of it. Winston-Salem State University. But when you think about prestigious universities in this nation, you don't hear much about HBCUs. We talk about black pride and what happened. But what are we doing as black people to maintain and uplift that level of pride so the quality of education that's received from HBCUs, which is undeniable, by the way, is appreciated by corporate America the way it should be? We can talk about the education all we want to, but at the end of the day, if corporate America isn't appreciating it the way it appreciates some of the prestigious white institutions where you got to go out here and get a job, where's that keeping you? And in no way am I discouraging anybody from going to an HBCU. I'm saying inhale, embrace, and understand the challenges that come along with it. I knew that me being from the HBCU was not going to stop me. I didn't give a damn what anybody said. I was going to take that education from the HBCU and I was going to propel myself to new heights because I was that dude. I believed in me enough. I was going to make that happen. I didn't give a damn what anybody said. But I didn't sit up here and go like this. Well, you know what? Let's make sure that we keep it black and we don't allow white folks to come to
HBCUs, because then you're telling white folks, well, let's not allow blacks to come to the white institution. And this corporate America embraces those white institutions more than they embrace the HBCUs, and then black folks are struggling even more to get the quality opportunities that we richly deserve. So when you think about isolating yourself as a community, understand why it seems ideal because of how integrated we are corporately and economically. In the end, we will end up costing ourselves. We wanted integration to exist because we wanted fair and equitable opportunities.
Integration is a good idea. Jack Robinson is a good idea.
In some people's eyes, maybe in some people's eyes not. You have to ask people far more intelligent than we that question. The way I look at it, I want access to what they have access to, so I can do what they did. Plain and simple. I work for ESPN. There's white folks all over the place, but there's also black folks all over the place. So you've got folks that are having equal access potentially to the opportunities that exist, which is why I'm making the kind of money that would enable me to donate hundreds of thousands of dollars to my alma mater. So if I wanted to sit up here and say, well, you know what, I just want to, we should have our own black union, and we should work for, we should build our own business.
I see that.
Well, we do. Sometimes, listen, my boss on first aid is a black man. The Boston Sports Center is a black man. Okay? There are several executives who happen to be black that work for ESPN. And ESPN has a pretty damn good record with diversity. Now, the big boss may not be, but the fact of the matter is that black folks are making up 13% of the population. Once upon a time, it was 14 to 15%. Once upon a time, we were the dominant minority. Now, that's not the case. It's the Latino community. Whose fault is that? Certainly, the system in some degree is at fault. What about what we do to ourselves? What about what we do to each other? You got to accept responsibility for everything. I am in no way saying that anybody's innocent and they should be absolved.
That's not a question of chicken or egg. Systemic racism.
And I'm saying you can focus on that, and that's fine. You wouldn't be wrong. How productive is it? I agree with that. See, what I'm saying is this: like Joe Madison had me on a few months ago. Good brother that he is, didn't go by the reports. They're lying bastards were out there lying on me all the time. Called me an ass. Stephen A. said racism doesn't exist. Here was the story. Anytime I go out and I give a speech, particularly at historically black institutions, I always say this line: racism doesn't exist. And then I pause, and I say, obviously, of course it exists. But you, meaning you youngsters, don't need to focus on that. Because the trials and tribulations that our ancestors, recent and long ago, had to deal with far exceeded the obstacles that you have now. And if they didn't have it as an excuse to deny their prosperity, you don't either. Of course it exists. God damn it, find a way to get over it and make it happen. Anyway, now you can complain, you can rap, but I would say always wait a minute, some of us. I'm talking about collectively. Of course, a lot of us in this community.
We should do a day like we did the last time. Right?
For example, I'm talking how I'm talking. You have a child. Your child comes home. He got F's. She got F's. Man, teach you racist. You don't want to hear that. Because you handle your business, get your grades. Handle your business. I don't care, figure it out. Now, obviously, we know it's unfair. We gonna find a way to try to deal with that teacher. We gotta talk. You can't be prejudiced against my child, something like that. But to your child, you ain't saying that. Because you don't want to give them a crutch that they're gonna be able to hold on to as an excuse to hold them back.
So you're saying acknowledge the reality.
I'm saying to acknowledge the reality, but to some, not all. Sometimes you don't need to know that. Sometimes you need to recognize, I gotta overcome these obstacles. Because guess what? The world ain't fair. My boy tells me all the time, fear is a place where they judge pigs. It doesn't exist. Find a way to deal with it anyway. We so busy complaining sometimes about obstacles It's about overcoming them. When you watch my man Steve Harvey, another good friend of mine, and the great things that he's doing in the community, you think he don't know racism exists? You think he don't know there's trials and tribulations? He had to overcome. You trying to tell me the same Steve Harvey that you saw in Kings of Comedy, the same Steve Harvey that you saw in some of those movies, the same Steve Harvey that you listened to on the air for years doing radio, that's the same exact dude you see on national syndication, on television, with his afternoon show, with all of those women in the audience, completely different dude. You know why? Because you adapt. And we don't teach enough of that. Adapt. Adapt. That's the way it goes. I gotta go, fellas.
All right, man. I appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
All right.
Oh,
I was about to say.
so there you have it, guys. We just got done.
Oh, you kept that on?
Yeah,
The
on
whole
purpose.
time?
Yeah, on purpose. Yeah. So there you have it, guys. We went live with Stephen A. Smith, and we were about to dig. We were about to dig.
I was about to
dig.
I was about to say, Michael Eric Dyson is successful. He done went through the trials and tribulations, and he still addresses these issues. What I wanted to say to him real quick before he left is, Stephen, all I'm saying is if I get killed by the police, if my kids, something happens to my kids, they get murdered by the police or anyone, I just want justice. I'm not trying to stop people from killing. You're not going to do that. That's the reason why police will always be around.
Yeah.
You feel me? But you see how Stephen A. Smith, he starts creating his own narrative. Like when you start saying stuff like,
See,
well, your kids are getting the F.
when you're
you
an
know.
elitist, Dante, you have a different perspective on life, man. It's like, you know how you have them tiers like of the snowman? Like he's at the top tier of the snowman where only a few people exist, where the belly is a whole bunch of people. You know what I mean? I know it's a poor metaphor, but
I know
but
what you mean.
he's extracted himself from our dudes on the street.
But also the position a lot of black people are in, when they hear so many.
Dante hates white people. Can't wait to see the interview. You guys are putting it.
Hey, let's go ahead and talk to this.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the racist dude who be posting comments on
Oh,
the channel right
Gennady,
there. Why is it always racist people that say you hate someone, right? Hey, Gennady, that's the racist dude. Hey, Gennady, tell me what it is I said that you disagree with. Let's go ahead and put him on blast right now.
Yeah,
I always
Gennady.
wanted to address these racists on the internet. Let's go ahead and talk to this racist dude. Gennady, he uses Gennady as his name, Gennady Golovkin.
Hey.
What have I said that you disagree with, Gennady? And if that's the case, what white people do I hate? Where is he at? He ain't gonna say nothing, no.
Appreciate you, Troy. Appreciate you, Dre. Keith Reynolds. Now, so you guys know.
That's all. See, he don't say nothing. Yeah. See, that's how you can spot a racist right there. Because they do what you call racist drive-bys. You know what I'm saying? They post shit, and then once you ready to retaliate, they be like, "That's all, folks," and then they leave. They dip out.
Now, what I will tell you about Stephen A. Smith, his responses are coerced. He knows if you ask him a question,
talking points.
Talking points.
It's
like a politician. His stump speech every time. Now, we didn't get to where we wanted to go, but we were trying. We were trying to get there. We were trying really, really hard. And you can get lost in translation. You can get lost because he is a very intelligent man now. So you can get lost in like, damn, this guy is smart. He knows what he's talking about. And you can lose sense of where you want the conversation to go. He can re-navigate the conversation like some of the best. Now, we allowed him to talk because he granted us the opportunity. You know what I mean? So we had to be respectful that he gave us. So I want you guys to fully understand that.
And see, this is something else I wanted to talk about.
Mhm.
People don't understand. Interviews are like interrogations.
Mm-hmm.
You want to keep a person comfortable. You want to continue. You want to allow him, give him the opportunity to talk as much as he can,
Mm-hmm.
and confess. You want to make him comfortable, but you don't want to put too much pressure on him, because then what do? They lawyer up, and they say, I want to see my lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So we want to keep them talking, and basically try to get them to confess if there's something to confess to.
Yeah.
But when it comes to, like you said, going back to talking points, see, this is the problem with Black folks. We have, this pressure, from the racists and all the other ignorant people. They are always throwing their talking points in front of us to try to make us feel uncomfortable of speaking the truth. So that's what happens with people like Stephen A. Smith, is you keep hearing them try to use these deflections. Someone gets murdered in the street and the cop doesn't go to jail, and then they say, what about black on black crime? What about this? What about that? And then all of a sudden now you're talking about something else, and that's exactly what they want to do. They want to cause a distraction and a deflection to get you to stop talking about what the actual situation or the subject is really about. And that's about people being murdered. So when you hear Stephen A. Smith say something like, oh, if your kids are getting Fs and you sitting over here saying, oh, your teacher is racist, no one is talking about that. No Black people are talking about that. Black people are talking about the fact that whenever someone gets murdered, you want that person to go to jail to do time just like everyone else does, right? Once again, you can't talk about black on black crime and a cop who's paid to protect and serve. You can't even put that in the same sentence, because that's two different conversations. It's two different type of conversations. If you want to talk about black on black crime, white on white crime, Asian on Asian crime, then we could talk about that in a separate conversation, but it's not synonymous with talking about a police officer who's supposed to be protecting us, killing us. And then he gets paid leave, he doesn't go to jail, then he opens up a FundMe page and raises $1 million
and sells the gun on eBay.
And the victim don't even raise $1,000. You know what I mean? So this ain't got nothing to do with, let me say this too, it's for the racists, so you guys can really understand the situation. If you have if me and you, we see a white person on the news get murdered by a grown ass Black man, and we know that the Black dude was he was wrong and he's going to go to jail, right? There's no defending, no justifying what he did. We're not going to sit over here and say, but what about white on white crime? You feel me? We're not going to say that, right? We're going to say that was wrong what just happened. You see anyone get murdered, the first thing you're going to say is, man, that's wrong, et cetera, et cetera. We ain't going to try to change the subject and be like, what about white on white crime? What about Mexican on Mexican crime? You know what I'm saying? I mean, and when you go to a funeral, just one more analogy. When you go to a funeral and you see people mourning over a death and stuff like that, you hear them saying all kind of positive stuff. You don't hear anyone go up to the podium and say, hey, y'all sitting over here crying about this dead guy, but what about my great-grandma? She died like 10 years ago. I don't hear none of y'all saying nothing about her. What about this? What about that? You see, it's a distraction, and that's what they want you to do. They want you to look a different direction because they know that what you're saying is true, but they don't want to accept it. And as long as they keep you talking about something else, then this will continue to be a problem. So when he says Stephen A. Smith was talking about we should have solutions instead of just talking and screaming. No, the solution is accountability. Listen, that's like someone right now getting shot in front of me right now, and nothing happens, and we over here sitting over here saying, what can we do? What can we do? What do we do when somebody gets shot and killed right in front of you? You call the police, right? And the killer goes to jail. So that's the solution. People always try to make it seem like it's so complex, oh, what can we do? And it's so, how do we fix this problem? You put the motherfuckers in jail who commit crimes. And that's all there's to it. Ain't nobody trying to reduce crimes and all that kind of stuff. You just set an example and you put that person in jail. So yeah, I don't agree with Stephen A. Smith on that, but I agree with him on some points when he was talking about Floyd Mayweather, and
he disagreed with Floyd.
Yeah, he disagreed with Floyd. I obviously agree with Stephen A. Smith on that, but trying to say, Black people are crying about grades and blaming everything on race and
and we holding ourselves back. If that was the case, we wouldn't have a black president. Stephen A. Smith would not be in the position he's in. Eric Michael Dyson, he wouldn't be where he is. We did all of that with resistance. You know what I'm saying? We always, had a deficit in the race. So I don't like when I hear people try to say that, we crying and all of.
So I don't know what happened. It went dark. Hopefully it'll come back.
We done blew up.
I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. I appreciate you, Troy Brown. I don't know what happened. We just got to, there we go. We're back now.
We blew up the internet with too much truth.
Yeah. But they have questions for you, Dante. They say.
Questions. And where my racist go? The racist, racist Gennady, he just dipped out, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He says, do you think he'll be a great analyst, color commentator?
You know what, guys? We'll find out tomorrow. I mean, it's really hard to gauge, and we never seen him sit down at the table and talk boxing. But, he's very animated. He's full of energy. He's very knowledgeable. So to me, I think it was a great idea to put him in the color analyst seat. And, who is it? You got Brian Kenny, you got Tim Bradley, and you got Stephen A. Smith. That sounds like a good panel. That sounds like
right
a good
on paper.
panel.
It does.
Yeah, so we'll see.
I think that he's gonna have to shorten his talking points.
Yeah. Oh,
he's got to shorten his.
He knows that. He knows he ain't gonna be able to do that.
He's gonna have to.
Well, he ain't gonna have us there.
Yeah.
So he ain't gonna have to worry about that.
Yeah, I don't know. The jury, we'll find out tomorrow, but it's definitely, if Top Rank is doing their first pay-per-view, it definitely makes sense. Like, it puts butts in the seats more. It puts butts in the TV seats. You know what I mean? Because the 10,000 people are coming to see Manny Pacquiao, whether you like it or not. And we'll have to wait and see. Fernando and Edmund asked that question, but we'll have to. I don't know. And George Ree, I wish you guys had an hour to sit down with. You know what? I'm gonna ask Stephen A. Smith, because I'm gonna ask him tomorrow. Stephen A., I'm gonna tell him we got over 100,000 subscribers between my newspaper, my two newspapers, Dante's subscriber. We have well over 100,000. I know he's on ESPN. He's like, what the fuck, 100,000, right? But at the end of the day, 100,000 is a lot for boxing. And I think that I'm definitely gonna ask him, and I'm gonna lean on it. As you guys can see, we sat here for 3 hours and we waited for him. I'm not sure you guys understand how fighter meetings go. Every fighter gets anywhere between 20 minutes to an hour to talk about their backstory, why they're there. So those little side stories, talk. Go ahead, Edmund, say something. Yeah, add to the conversation. These little idioms that they have, it all comes from these fighter meetings. So when they say his mother Teresa, it comes from the fighter meetings. They don't really know Mother Teresa. I mean, no pun intended. Mother Maria. They don't really know Mother Maria, but they know from these fighter meetings how many brothers they have, how many sisters they have, why they got into boxing, while their aunties on drugs. So we waited 3.5, close to 4 hours. We're literally the last group of media here. It's just us and elevator music. That's literally what it is. Yeah, but Edmund, go ahead. We're gonna upload these videos right now. You should upload. Yeah, you gonna piece by piece.
I'm doing the Freddie.
You still on Freddie Roach?
I'm gonna upload some of that.
Oh yeah,
man. So,
we the only people that have it. So it's not. Yeah. So how long you guys been working today? It is a lot of work. Let's see. I got here at 1 o'clock. I got here at 1 o'clock today.
Yeah, we've been working all day.
9 o'clock. Yeah,
we've been working all day. Yep. So you got here a little earlier than I did. And I got here. I followed you. I got here about 2:30 when the weigh-in started.
and we've been here all day.
So even if you guys disagree with us, right? See, guys going to clubs right now. See, this is like, see?
That's how late it is.
I came to pick up my tickets for the fight tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
So they're gone.
Oh, you can't get tickets for the fight.
Oh, they just left about 45 minutes ago.
Oh,
Yeah, so they'll be here tomorrow.
So now we know how big the fight is going to be.
It's gonna be insane. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be awesome.
Who you got, Vargas or
Who's
Pacquiao?
going to win?
I don't know.
You don't
He's
know.
going for Pacquiao.
Who you pulling
He
for?
thinks Pacquiao's gonna win. That's why he's
You're going for Vargas. So where you from?
LA.
You from LA?
Yeah.
Okay.
4.5 to 1 underdog. You got to take the odds. You got to bet $50. You get $250 back, $300 back. You know what I
Vargas
mean?
has a good chance, though.
It does.
That right, the overhand.
Are you guys here for the fight?
Yes,
Yeah,
we're covering the fight.
Like with who?
A few of
Dante's
Dante's
Boxing
Boxing
Nation.
Barbershop
Yours
Conversation
truly.
and 2 newspapers. Yeah, a
Nice.
couple newspapers. Yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Yeah, I guess we'll pick up tomorrow.
Okay.
Hey, well, I wish you luck, man, tomorrow.
Thank
Mhm.
Hey, you better go to that sports book, man. Some good odds over there.
Yeah. So we've been working all day. Stephen A. Smith better not coon today. The coon watch is in effect. I wanted the underground research. I wanted to get there, but it's hard to get there. See, you guys understand something. You got to build how long that interview is. You got to build a relationship with that guy. Now, keep in mind, I wanted to go in on him on Kevin Durant, him not taking a stronger stance with Colin Kaepernick. I wanted to do all of that. The Chris Bosh issue, I'm annoyed by it. I wanted to do all of that, but you got to build the relationship.
Yeah.
I will never get an interview with him again if I attack his ass for being a coon.
And that's the whole. And
That's the
that
play.
goes back to the interrogation.
Yeah, that's the play. Yeah, that's
you
the.
have to keep them talking. If they get uncomfortable, they're gonna ask for a lawyer.
Mhm.
They're gonna be like, that's the end of it.
Yeah.
Interview is over with.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you bring a soda in there. You say, we know you didn't mean to kill him. We know it was an accident. You was probably defending yourself, right?
Now tomorrow, we've established some sort of kinship with him in terms of our beginning stances on how we feel as it relates to black issues in America and boxing. Now, don't forget we're here to cover a fight now too, so we got to get that in as well. But as I always say, this is Dante. He gave us 19, 20. He gave us 42 minutes, guys.
That was it? Yeah, that shit felt like 2 hours.
He gave us 42 minutes.
That shit felt like 2 hours.
I don't think, okay, here's another comment they says. I don't think he realizes that his fans acknowledge him. He's our voice. Do you believe that Shannon Sharpe is doing a better job? You know, Shannon Sharpe is got the shock effect going for him right now. I said he's our North Star right now. You know what I mean? Because, you know, we can become docile with Shannon, with Stephen A. Smith voice. And I do believe that he knows he's our voice to a certain degree. I do believe that he knows he speaks to the streets. And talking to him now, he will only put his foot in the tub to see if the water is hot.
I think Shannon Sharpe, he listened to everything that Stephen A. Smith was saying when he was working with Skip Bayless, and he said to himself, you know what, man, I'm going to go ahead and go against the grain, and I'm going to speak the truth, and I don't give a damn what the backlash is. I'm going to go in there unapologetically, and I'm going to speak the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's exactly what Shannon did, you know, so, and I commend him for it. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was one time when I heard Shannon slip up a little bit, and, you know.
Well, they're not going to. Yeah, they won't bat 1,000.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, you're going to disagree with everybody. Me and my mama disagree, you know, and stuff. So, but at the end of the day, I really commend Shannon, because when I first heard that Skip Bayless was doing another show with someone else, I figured it was going to be another Skip Bayless type of person. And not saying Skip Bayless is, I mean, another Stephen A. Type person. I'm not saying Stephen is bad, but I didn't feel that they would get somebody as raw as Shannon.
You're right.
Someone who really speaks the truth.
That's a great point.
And you know, that's what we got. That's what we got. So, I mean, and this is the trip, because sometimes I listen to Shannon talk, and he'll be making a point that I have in my head as I'm listening to him, and he'll say it damn near at the same time it pops up in my head. So, you know, when I'm in sync with someone like that, when it comes to, these type of issues, I commend him big time, And I hope the pressure and the backlash that he receives on social sites doesn't ever make him conform, and jump on the coon train, which I don't think Shannon will ever do that. Steven was doing good for a minute, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I don't know, man. I'm telling you, man, that's the pressure from the decals, man. That's what that is. That's the pressure from the decals. The decals start making you feel, guilty for speaking the truth. And that's what always happens.
I'm uploading the interview now, guys.
That's like the work and stream at the same time.
Yeah, I'm uploading.
Yeah, that shit felt like 2 hours, man. That Stephen A. Smith.
I'll get you guys questions in a second. Let me upload this video so you guys can have it.
Yeah, I really don't like when people do that, though. I don't like when people, how should I put this? I don't like when people make up or embellish a narrative that no one had ever even brought up. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's the one thing that really annoys me when I hear people saying stuff like, we got to stop crying. We got to stop telling our kids, if you get an F, it's because your teacher is racist. How do we go from Terrence Crutcher getting shot and killed to talking about grades and blaming it on race?
Mm-hmm.
That's the shit that annoys me, man. Let's stick with the issue at hand.
Yo, Fernando said you better be on our show tomorrow.
What's that?
I wanted to see, God, George Reed. I wanted to get to that. Do you guys see it trying? Wait a minute, in boxing. Wait, let me go back up top.
Whose show is that? Who is that talking?
That's Fernando. We got the fight guys. He wants you to do our show.
Oh,
yeah,
the one.
Yeah.
They don't plug.
So, anyways,
no, but what's going on, Fernando?
I don't think he realizes his fans. No, I got that. You guys heard anything? But no, how about the testing for this fight? Was it VADA?
There was no. I don't think there was any testing for this fight.
Okay.
Not no random VADA or USADA.
Mm-hmm. In boxing, do you think there's a lot of racism?
If there's racism in the country, why would
Yeah, it's
boxing be excluded?
Everything is a microcosm of what we live in. Do you guys see it trying? Do you guys see it trying to get interviews? Yeah. Yeah, it happens a lot. It happens a lot, but you kind of like wallow through it. You see it coming. Like we had an issue today, with for tomorrow, trying to do the thing. That may be part of it's
yeah. But then there's stuff that's way more blatant and way more obvious. Once again, all you have to do. If you really, really are opening your eyes and you really want to see the truth, all you got to do is just look and listen. Use your ears, use your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
You see how Andre Ward is treated versus how Kovalev is treated. You see how Mayweather is treated versus how Pacquiao is treated. Errol Spence versus how Golovkin is treated, and the list goes on and on and on. All of this is repetitive. History repeats itself. Everything that you basically heard boxers talk about in documentaries 50, 60, 70 years ago, you see the same treatment today. It's just the only difference is it's not so blatant where
thank you.
Yeah, back in the days, you had writers that were like, oh, that darky, Jack Johnson, that black bastard and this and that, and he's only so good because his black people's skull are thicker you know, they say all kind of crazy stuff, but now there's more covert. You know, they have to, you know, cover it, you know, dress it, and all kind of stuff like that. But if you can decode and decipher, which is not too hard because they ain't trying to hide it too much.
Mm-hmm.
They just have to speak in codes.
Sure.
And that's very easy to decode.
Mm-hmm. Yo, Dante, you better be on our show tomorrow. Okay. Ask Stephen A. Smith about the Michelle Beadle incident where they made him apologize like a little kid.
Hey, that's a good one, Fernando.
No, not for that. For that, George Reed said that. I wanted to get that, dude. Okay. George, I got notes, man. I got so many notes. If I showed you my notes on my computer for Stephen A. Smith, oh man, I got so many notes on that kid. But I will say he gave us 40 minutes after 8 hours and after at least 7 hours in fighter meetings.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Because remember, Freddie Roach was here, so that means Manny Pacquiao was before him. That means Jesse Vargas was before him because Dewey had their own meetings. Dewey and Freddie Roach had their own meetings. So and they had to be 2 hours before us. Mm-hmm. So just imagine how long they were in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
They were in there for a little.
Yeah. And do you see Stephen A. Smith as a conservative? I don't think he is socially. What he does with his money is what he does, but socially, I think he fights for the cause. So socially now, I don't know what he does privately. He may vote for Donald Trump. I don't know. He'll never admit to that. But socially, I think he's pretty liberal. I see you tomorrow, Dante. No testing, huh? Jesse has worked previously with Memo. I think Jesse just works his ass off. I appreciate you, cigar boxing, all the time, man. He said, thanks. He's going to bed. Thanks for all the hard work. Have a good night. Yeah, we're going to wrap. Okay, Taka. Andre is going to KO Sergey. Do you see Kim fanboy gay? Yeah, I did group interviews with Steve Kim, man. Tuesday, Wednesday. And every time, the first thing I see him, when I see him, I look through his soul when I look at Stephen Kim. And I just want him to